Dear friends, my name is CA Girish Sachdeva. I am going to discuss a very important point today. We have seen that there are a lot of documents which are created and we usually don't know what is their meaning, how they are different from each other. I would like to tell you one thing, that the objective of this channel is to make things simple. That's why I will try to avoid mention of rules, sections, and the respective laws, so that it remains as simple as possible, right? So let's try to understand that what are the various documents which are created normally and what is their meaning, how they are different from each other, how they have a different relevance, and how we should know that when we should use a particular document and when we should not look for the other type of document. Okay, first of all, just to be just to start with, whenever we make any sale either of goods, or we want to create an invoice or to create a charge for providing services to our clients, we have to raise certain documents, right? So those documents can fall into two categories. One is tax invoice and the other is bill of supply. So tax invoice is raised wherever that the product or services whichever we are which we have, whatever we have sold or whatever services we have provided, if they are within the ambit of GST, we would raise tax invoice in normal course. But let's say we are selling or providing any services which are out of ambit of GST law currently. For example, liquor, petrol, electricity, or any other items which are not part of GST as of now for any reason. For them, we have to create a bill of supply. The purpose of creating this document is to create a charge on our data that we have provided these services or we have sold these items, and now we are asking you to pay for these services or goods, right? So by creating these documents, we are documenting the transactions of our sale of goods or provision of services, right? Now there may be so many other things which are incidental to our business. Let's say we are we have made certain, we want to charge our customer for late payment. It is not our business, right? It is not our business. Our business is to sell them, but commercially we are going to charge them for late payment. So for late payment we are going to charge them interest. Rather than creating a tax invoice, we raise a separate debit note so that we tell them that we are going to charge you this much amount for interest. This interest is not our normal business. It is not part of our business. This is because we are charging you for any other commercial reason, right? There may be other examples as well where you are charging your customer for reimbursement. For example, you made certain expenses on behalf of your customer and now you want to charge them. So rather than creating a tax invoice, you create a debit note, right? So let's remind ourselves, whenever you are charging your customer or client for any of your services or for sale of goods, you create tax invoice. But when you want to charge them for anything which is not your goods or services, it is because of any other commercial requirement, you create a debit note. Okay. The contents of debit note and tax invoices are almost same. You would charge GST or other taxes on the debit note as well, like you charge on GST. But conceptually, this debit note is not your revenue per se. This is not your normal revenue. This is something which is your other charges, which is not your normal revenue. Okay. Now, now let's say you have already created a charge on your client or your customer. Now you need to reverse that charge because of any reason. Because let's say you sold some goods and they came back, or maybe part of the goods you sold earlier, uh, the client or customer wants to return it to you, or there was some problem in the invoice you raised to your client and they wish you to reverse some of the charges you already billed them, right? So whenever there is a specific reversal with respect to a particular service or goods, then you create a credit note where you reverse the charges you already created by raising a tax invoice or a debit note or a bill of supply earlier. And when you create a credit note, you also mention the GST or other taxes, because you also need to reverse the corresponding GST and other taxes as well. And you need to mention the complete details of the original documents with respect to which you are going to create this reversal. For example, in the original invoice number 2, you had charged them invoice of rupees 100. Now you want to reverse that. When you are going to create a new credit note, in the credit note you will clearly mention that this credit note is with respect to invoice number 2 dated so and so, so that a clear relationship can be established between this credit note and the earlier document which you raised in the past. Okay. There may be some commercial arrangements where you have to accept a journal liability which is not related to particular transaction made earlier. For example, you give a volume discount to your buyer. So that volume discount is not related to a particular invoice. You give that discount only when someone buys a certain amount of quantity from you. So once that buyer reaches to that quantity, you give them a general discount. So for that, to now, as per your agreed terms, you want to accept that liability. Yes, as per our earlier agreement, we are going to uh, give you a discount of X amount. Now, because this is not relating to a particular transaction which was done earlier, it relates to all the transactions putting together. You will create a credit note which will be general in nature, not very specific to a particular invoice raised earlier, right? So you will create the amount of liability you are going to accept, and you will also mention the GST or other taxes as applicable on them, so that you need to reverse that as well. Okay, delivery challan. Whenever there is a movement of any tangible item, maybe stock or maybe your fixed asset, you need to record it with the help of delivery challan. There may be very rare examples of movement of fixed assets, but sometimes you need to move your fixed assets as well for, let's say, for repair or for anything else. Even then, you have to create delivery challan. So you need to mention the complete details of goods, the fixed assets, the destination where you are sending those goods, the name and details of sender and receiver and everything about the movement of goods or fixed assets. The next document is e-way bill. So as per GST law, whenever there is a movement of goods or fixed assets, you have to create an e-way bill. So what you need to do is that you go online on e-way bill website, you fill in the complete details of the relevant tax invoice by which you are going to send this goods or fixed assets. You need to fill the value of goods, GST details, etc. The e-way bill is required only when the value of the invoice is above the certain limit set as per the state law. Certain states have given a limit of 50,000 rupees, and certain states say that if you are going to move goods worth 1 lakh rupees, then only, or more than 1 lakh, then only you need to create e-way bill. So depending upon the value of the invoice, value of the goods, you need to create e-way bill. Now, what are the documents which are required in case of services? So for services, either you will have a tax invoice, or you may have a debit note, or you may have a credit note as well. And the second kind of document could be the supportings and workings to explain calculations of the amount you mentioned on the tax invoice. Okay, what are the possible documents for goods or tangible assets? Whenever there is a sale or supply of goods, then there may be either a tax invoice, or there may be a bill of supply, or there may be a debit note or a credit note as well. So either one of them, right? Not all of them, but one of them at one in one example. And also delivery challan, irrespective of the value, you will always create a delivery challan to record movement of goods, right? And there will also be a e-way bill only if the value of overall goods is more than a certain limit as per the state law. So e-way bill is not necessary, but other two documents will always be there. Whenever there is a movement of goods, you would always have either of tax invoice or bill of supply or debit note or credit note clubbed with delivery challan. Okay. If you still have any doubts about these documents which are created again and again, and you still have any query, please feel free to write to me or post your queries in the comment box. I will try to respond, and I will try to come back soon with another subject. Thank you so much.